Your turn, Yogi boy.
What is up, guys? This is Theo coming at you today with a discussion about the Cyber Angels. Now you might be saying, Theo, why have you not spoken about this before? Well, I have been waiting to do a big discussion on them. I didn't really want to do individual discussions because there's just so many that combo together. Obviously, it's better to talk about them all. And now that the newly announced Vishnu has been announced, I feel like I should really talk about the whole archetype now and the different plays and just in general, everything about the Cyber Angels. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the archetype consists of 4 rituals, 1 ritual spell card, and 1 effect monster. Obviously, there's going to be lots of off-theme support, but that's just the archetype as we know it, as of the end of May, basically 2016. The archetype is a very interesting one. It simply revolves around ritual summoning. Quite obviously, that's how it is. And it's very interesting because it consists of 2 level 6s, a level 7, and a level 8, and a level 2 effect monster. So we'll go into all of the effects of all the monsters, and then we will backtrack and talk about them all. So one of the level 6s is called Cyber Angel Benten. It's a level 6 light ritual monster with 1,800 attack and 1,500 defense, and its effect reads as follows. You can ritual summon this card with a Machine Angel ritual. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster's original defense. This card is tributed. You can add 1 light fairy type monster from your deck to your hand. The other level 6 ritual is Iden. Iden is a level 6 light ritual with 1,600 attack and 2,000 defense. Effect reads as follows. You can ritual summon this card with Machine Angel Ritual. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add 1 ritual spell card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card is tributed, you can make all ritual monsters you control gain 1,000 attack and defense. Then you have the level 8, which is Dakini. Dakini is a 2/7, 2/4 attack. Level 8, light ritual monster. Usual text saying you can ritual summon it with Machine Angel Ritual. If this card is ritual summoned, you can make your opponent send 1 monster they control to the graveyard. If a ritual monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Once per turn during the end phase, you can target 1 ritual monster or 1 Machine Angel Ritual in your graveyard, add it to your hand. The newly announced Vishnu is the level 10 ritual. 2,000 attack, 2,000 defense, light. You can ritual summon this card, usual blah blah blah. If this card is ritual summoned, you can destroy as many face-up monsters your opponent controls that were special summoned from the extra deck as possible. And if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. And if you do that, then this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Once per turn during either player's turn. When a card or effect is activated that would destroy a card on the field, you can shuffle 1 ritual monster from your graveyard into your deck, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Then the spell card's effect is this card can be used to ritual summon any Cyber Angel ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. If a light monsters you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. And then finally, the effect monster is Cyber Petit Angel. 300 attack, 200 defense, level 2 light monster. If this card is summoned, you can add 1 Cyber Angel monster or 1 Machine Angel Ritual from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Cyber Petit Angel once per turn. That was a lot of talking, and this was all done through my phone. I've just taken pictures of them. But let's go through them. Working our way back, we have the 1 effect monster. That is just a little petite angel. That is his name. Very simple stats, you don't really need to pay much attention to them because they're kind of irrelevant, and its level is also fairly irrelevant in the sense that it's a level 2, it's nothing too huge. It is nice to get to Dakini as well if you have a level 6 and then that obviously level 8, nice. But being able to search out the ritual spell or the ritual monsters is really strong. It means that you can play 3 of these and then 3 Manju. So you have 6 basic Manjus in your deck, which is absolutely insane for the archetype. It's a really strong card and a definite 3 of in my opinion. Then we have the ritual spell, pretty standard if I'm quite honest. You use this card to ritual summon 1, it's equal to or exceeding the amount of levels used for the monsters on your side of the field or graveyard. What is nice is the fact that you can use it for any of the Cyber Angel rituals, because it just means you don't have to clog the deck with more and more and more spell ritual cards. With the exception of something, for example, like Advanced Ritual Art, if you really wanted to play something like that. The interesting effect is, if a light monsters you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. Not only does it protect your rituals, but it protects every light monster on your side of the field. That is incredibly strong in my opinion, simply because it does protect everything. It protects your Herald of Perfection if you want to play it, protects your Herald of Ultimateness, it protects your Saphira, all these different monsters that, you can use. Hell, you can even protect your Christia if you so want to summon it. All these monsters, these light monsters that are imperative for this deck, it's really interesting to see that it actually does protect them. Then we have Vishnu, the newly announced level 10 ritual, which is just insane. The power on this card is so good. Being able to destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls that were summoned from the extra deck, and then inflict 1000 damage for each, and then you can attack twice per battle phase. That is absolutely insane. That just causes OTKs throughout the days because it has 3000 attack. If you do 2000 damage to your opponent, if you just destroy 2 of their extra deck monsters that were summoned and they don't have any responses, yeah, your ass is gonna get OTK'd. But then on top of that, you can just protect all of your monsters. With once per turn during either player's turn, when a card effect is activated that would destroy a card on your side of the field, not even a monster, just a card, you can shuffle in one ritual monster from your graveyard to the deck, negate and destroy. Seems pretty powerful to me. Moving on to Dakini. Dakini is a interesting one to say the least. I don't know how really well used and it's going to be, considering that it's out of the level 6 range, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to summon. With Vishnu, it might be a bit of a stretch to go for it, but it's really worth it simply because of the power that it has. Dakini, when it's summoned, you force your opponent to send a monster to the graveyard. Pretty strong, just effect removal is nice, and the fact that it sends, doesn't destroy or anything like that. Very powerful text, sends, because then it means that you have a less chance of triggering any effects your opponent might have, and it puts a clause on your side of the field. If any ritual monsters would attack your opponent's defense position monsters, it gives them a Fairy Meteor Crush effect. And then during the end phase, which is a bit of a bolted on effect in my opinion because it's a bit slow, it means that you can target a ritual monster or one ritual angel spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So it's a bit of a slower effect, but it's not too shabby. But in my opinion, I don't know if I'd be playing many of these, maybe just a one-off. Ida 10 is one of the core level 6s that we have, in my opinion. When it's ritual summon, being able to add a ritual spell card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and then if it's tributed, all your ritual monsters gain 1000 attack and defense. It really just helps you move the deck along. It adds combos because when it's ritual summoned, you're able to add one of your ritual spell cards from your deck or graveyard to your hand to enable further plussing. And it also means that if you did need to search out a ritual spell card, then you can use it as a tribute to then ritual summon something. Its effect then kicks in and the monster you just ritual summoned and all the others on your side of the field gain 1000 attack and defense. Very strong. And then finally Benten, which is one of the best cards for the deck in my opinion. If it destroys an opponent's monster and sends it to the graveyard, you inflict damage equal to the defense. Not really that much of a great effect considering it only has 1800 attack. But the very important thing at the end, if this card is tributed, you can add one light fairy monster from your deck to your hand. You search any light fairy. That is just insane. You can search Christia, for God's sake. I've seen a bit of a combo where all you need is Gale Dogra and Herald of Perfection, I think it was, and you can just completely swarm the field, ending with like an M7, a Cyber Angel, and a Christia from 2 cards. And with Vishnu, that's only just going to add more power to the deck. Overall, I really love how the deck is because it allows you to play other ritual monsters if you so wish. It has an open bookend in the fact that you can play other cards. Herald of Perfection is actually a really good card in this deck, simply because they are all fairies, they are all light. Herald of Perfection requires exactly a level 6 to ritual summon it. Most of them have effects in the fact that when they are tributed, you do something with them. Whether it be you gain attack and defense, you search something out. But the really good thing about having Herald of Perfection in this deck is Herald of Perfection's ritual spell card. Now, I've always hated that card simply because of the fact it states you have to have exactly 6 stars to ritual summon. But the second effect has always been good. The fact that when you do ritual summon it, you can banish it from the graveyard to then add back one of those ritual materials that you did use. And because you're probably going to be using it with all these Cyber Angels and they're all level 6s, you get a free summon. Because you're going to be using it with probably all of the Cyber Angels, you get a free summon and you also get to resolve the effect of these Cyber Angels. So for example, if you use like Benten, Herald of Perfection, special summon that, Benten goes to the grave, Benten's effect activates, Dawn of the Herald activates, banish, add it to your hand, then Benten's effect kicks in, allowing you just to add anything to your hand. It's a super strong deck that I am super happy for. Vishnu is coming out in the next set, which is the Venom set that I don't remember. And then I think we're actually getting the Cyber Angels, the majority of them in the Dragons of Legend Unleashed set that's going to be coming out in a couple of months for the TCG. If that is the case, I don't know if that is confirmed or not, but I think I've heard ripplings that is the case. That's going to be sick, so I can finally play the deck. And funnily enough, you don't actually need Advanced Ritual Art for this deck at all. Now, one of the downsides to this deck in itself lies the Ritual spell, the fact that it does not state each individual ritual monster's name on the card, so you can't use it with pre-preparation of rites. However, that will probably be a little bit broken in the fact that you would have like 9 searches in 3 Manjus, 3 Petits Angels, and also 3 pre-preparation of rites. You can, however, use the original preparation of rites. Unless they really want to push it, I don't see them actually unlimiting pre-preparation. Yeah, that sucks a bit. Overall, this archetype is awesome. I really do like it, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to like it as well and probably want to play the deck. I already see people picking up Herald of Perfections and other stuff in preparation for the actual deck, but I've already got it ready, so as soon as they all come out, I am sure to have a deck profile up ASAP. Overall, it's a really nice, strong ritual archetype. It's good to see a GX archetype actually come out so far down the line, because that's who used it. I think it was Alexis or something, Alexis Rhodes. I want to say Alexis Rhodes, but I don't know if that's the case. Overall, really happy with how the archetypes turned out. If we do get more support for it, that's going to be really nice, but I just hope that they don't preemptively hit anything like they sometimes do, especially for some of my favorite decks. Really happy with how this is turning out. I hope they don't neuter it completely, and I don't think it's going to be as ridiculous as people are making out to be, but I think it's actually going to be a pretty strong contender for tier 1. So I want to know what you guys think of these Cyber Angels. Do you think they are really good? Do you think they're not bad? Do you think there are a lot of different plays you can make with them? So I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.